in and out of jail several times and chased by the police and shot at, and I'm not proud of these things, but just to give you a picture of where I was. I ran away from home first time when I was 13 years old. Have been in reform school for brief periods of time because I was in trouble. One time I got arrested and I wouldn't tell them who I was because I'd rather stay in jail than go back home again. I was so unhappy. And last time I left home I was 15 years old when I ran away. Hitchhiked up to Boston. Father said, I'm through with you. I don't know what to do with you. And began to break into homes. Now I was a burglar, not for entertainment, but I needed the money. And I became a thief, and I was stealing cars, and I was stealing televisions, and I had a part-time job as a security guard at the same time. I know that sounds really bizarre, but it is absolutely true. I was 16 years old at this point, and I had a driver's license that said I was 18. So here I'm a big shot, walking around in this oversized uniform in Boston with a weapon, and I'm a security guard, and I had a license so that I could I was buying alcohol, and I would guard places at night, and I'd steal during the day, because if you walk out of a house at night with a TV, you look suspicious. But if you do it during the day when the people are at work, they think you're just moving. And so this is how I was living. And then a friend of mine who was into these Eastern religions, he knew about my day job. His name was Jerry. And I said, you going to turn me in? He said, no, Doug, I don't need to turn you in. He says, God sees what you're doing, and your karma is going to get you. Now, karma is this ethereal rule that whatever you do comes back. With what measure you meet, it's measured to you, is how Jesus put it. And there is an element of truth in that. When you live on the streets, they put it this way: what goes around comes around. You're going to get what you give. And there's an element of truth in that. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. I said, nah, there's no God. And I said, I stole that TV and I got rid of it. Nothing happened to me. Nothing's going to happen. He said, you'll see. And not long after he told me this, I woke up in my apartment in Boston, and my door was open, and my television was gone. And my radio. And I was really mad. I called the police right away. I wanted them to track down. I felt they'd invaded my privacy. I wanted them to catch these thieves. And I started watching, and it began to slowly dawn on me that I wasn't getting ahead, because everything I did went wrong. I'd steal something. I'd often do it while I was drunk or high, and I'd hide it, and then I'd sober up and forget where I hid it. Or I would steal something, and my friends were all thieves. They would in turn then steal it from me. So I don't know where it went. And or I would risk my life to steal like a stereo or something. I'd get back to my place, plug it in. It was broken. I stole a broken stereo. And just everything was going wrong. And I said, man, what convinced me may seem strange. It was a little thing. I didn't quit stealing cold turkey. I tapered off. I used the patch. And but I was at someone's house, and I stole a box of Krusty's Instant Pancake Mix. Any of you remember that? It was the whole wheat variety. And I did it because even though here I am a hippie, and I'm drinking and smoking and taking drugs and LSD and staying up all night, but I only eat whole wheat because the other stuff's not good for your health. And so I steal this box of pancake mixes. It's the whole wheat variety. And on the top of the box, it was stamped $1.19. This is before the days of the barcode. The little blue circle. Any remember that? Stamped on top, $1.19. That same day, some friends went through my place. I had a brand new jar of Tang instant breakfast drink. They took the jar, they drank the whole thing, and there by the empty jar was a lid stamped, and it said $1.19. And I looked at the pancake mix, $1.19, and I thought, crime doesn't pay. There must be a God. Once I realized there was a God, I really began to search. And while I was there in Boston, I began to explore a broad spectrum of different religions. But I was trying to find the God within me. And I already, of course, had my Jewish background. And so I tried to mix the Kabbalah and some of the Jewish tradition. And I was creating a milkshake of different religions, trying to find the truth. And the Lord knew I was searching. And I had been to the Catholic schools and was doing the repetitive prayers. And I thought, if I mix a one Our Father with an and do these meditatings, that maybe I'd find God. So after we got done skiing in Canada, I sold everything I owned to my brother, who was a very shrewd businessman, to get as much money as I could. And I took off hitchhiking to California. While I had been there at 15, 16 years old, I'd found a cave, and I wanted to move out to this cave. And on my way out, I had a very interesting experience. I was hitchhiking from Miami, Florida to California, and if you don't know, that's a long way. Christmas time, I left Florida with Florida clothing. In Virginia, I lost all my money drinking and playing pool. I got drunk. And by the way, of all the drugs I've used, cocaine and marijuana and LSD and ups and downs and hash. And more of my friends died from alcohol than all the others put together. It just really worries me that every now and then I run into a Christian that thinks drinking's okay. I got drunk. I lost all my money making stupid bets. I'm a pretty good pool player when I'm sober, right, John? Oh, come on now. And I got out on the highway the next day, and I really felt like at the bottom. Because here I am, first of all, I'm freezing to death. I'm in Oklahoma. I got stuck in Oklahoma. And I remember every time a truck went by, I'd count to 3, and I'd turn around, and then 3 seconds after the truck went by, the wind from the truck would hit me, and I was just bitterly cold. I was sick from drinking, hangover. I was all out of money. I did not like myself. And, I really was a rotten person. Give you an example. When I was stealing cars, I stole this one car. A few weeks later, came back to steal the same car. There's a note taped on the steering wheel. I'm in there with my little flashlight getting ready to steal the car. I'm reading this note, little index card. It says, please don't steal my car. It says, I'm a pastor, and every time my car is stolen, it costs me a fortune to get it out of the tow yard. Please don't steal my car. I laughed and I stole the car and left it in New York City after taking it from Boston. I didn't care. I had a friend who got a brand new bicycle for his birthday. I broke into his home. I stole his bicycle, sold it to another friend it was a very expensive bike. Painted it, changed the serial numbers. I then stole it from him and sold it to another friend. So when I said I was a rotten person, I really was a very selfish person. You know why? I didn't think anybody cared about me, and so I made up my mind I'm not going to care about anybody. Well, while I'm out there on the highway, I prayed because I became desperate. And I asked God for 4 things. I said, Lord, I know I'm a sinner. I didn't even know how to pray. I remember my Jewish parents taught me a Jewish prayer, and I didn't even know what it meant. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam. So I didn't even know how to pray. I could say Our Father, going to Catholic school, or Hail Mary. But I just prayed from my heart. I said, Lord, I know you're there. I know there's a God. I know I'm an awful person. Will you forgive me? I needed forgiveness. And will you help me? And I said, Lord, please, I need 4 things. I said, I need a ride to where I'm going, 2,000 miles away. See, please give me a ride. Please help me get some food. I'm hungry. Please help me get some money. I'm broke. And the 4th thing I prayed the Lord would give me a ride with somebody normal, because I kept getting picked up by these lunatics,